Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from McFarlane Toys, in their DC Multiverse line, we are featuring The Flash from the upcoming film. But this is young Barry Allen in the Batman costume. On the back, a nice comic book inspired illustration, and let's get started. So from what I've assessed from looking at the trailers and the action figures, I haven't seen the movie yet. It hasn't been released. I'm assuming this version of the Flash is the younger Barry Allen from Batman's timeline, which explains why he's wearing the Michael Keaton Batman Returns costume. I think I'm probably very wrong on that, but that's just me hypothesizing. As always, you get the trading card and the display base. And first impressions of the figure, it looks pretty neat. I dig it a lot. The pose isn't the greatest in the box. It almost kind of looks like he's just mildly jogging. And like other McFarlane Flash figures, you can see there's multiple effects here. You know, if you want to make it look like he's like jetting off, you know, you can attach any of these to his limbs. Alright, so we have young Barry Allen as the Flash in the Batman costume. And it looks really, really cool. I'm digging this a lot. It looks... yeah, this is awesome. Oh, one thing that's kind of interesting also is that you'll notice that unlike most McFarlane figures, the head and the neck are actually attached to each other. So he actually has a pit at his neck, and then it kind of moves around. Very different articulation scheme than what we're used to. The head sculpt, it doesn't look the greatest. I'm not sure, it might be the paint application. It kind of bleeds past his face onto the mask a little, so it looks kind of weird. But it's alright. And if you look closely, it's the Batman costume. He just cut the ears off. And then he's still wearing his headphones. And then there's the Batman emblem with the Flash logo spray painted over it. I kind of feel like this could be a little bit cleaner. It's almost too blotchy where it doesn't really look like a lightning bolt. And you can see the Batman cowl right there behind him. There's a nice gradation on the leg. It's kind of to like imply that the costume is originally black and he just spray painted it. That's why it's so uneven throughout. And then over here, the lightning bolt again. Like I mentioned, it looks a little sloppy on the chest. I kind of wish it looked as clean as the one right here. You know, it doesn't need to look perfect, but you kind of lose the jagginess of the lightning bolts, and it just kind of looks like a blob of paint. But it's a pretty cool looking figure. I dig this a lot. Yeah, so here it is up close. And let's examine the articulation. So his head, like I pointed out, is attached to the neck. It's all like one solid piece. And at the pit of the neck is where it's articulated. So, I don't know. I think it's up to debate whether you like this or not. Personally, I think it looks kind of unsightly. You know, anytime he turns his head, it just looks weird. I could appreciate why they did this. Because historically, like some of the earlier Batman costumes, especially the ones that Michael Keaton wore, they were so restrictive in the neck he couldn't really turn his head. But I kind of wish they kind of broke it up, because it does look kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of that. The arms rotate, and is there a butterfly joint? There is a butterfly joint, but it's subtle, and it's almost kind of pointless because the range of motion isn't increased by that much. So I don't really get that either. I like this a lot. I like how they did the mid-torso cut here with the armor plating. So it kind of blends in kind of nice. So if you arch back, you know, it looks a little bit more natural. And when he crunches forward, it kind of hides that plate again. But leaning back, you get more, I think, more range of motion than leaning forward. Swivel at the mid-torso and at the waist. Legs kick up, they kick out. Bicep cut, double pinned elbows, articulated wrists, double pinned knees, articulated ankles and toes. If you ask me which figure do I prefer, this or the other Flash figure, they're actually clearly two different characters from the film. But in terms of action figures, I think the other ones presented a little bit better. But this one, it's still pretty nice, in my opinion. And if you're a fan of the upcoming film, you know, I kind of feel like you're going to need both figures to complement each other. From the trailers, it looks like they're kind of tag teaming it. So, you know, I kind of think you'd need both just to round out that collection. Size-wise, this guy comes in at a little under 7 1/4. Here he is. Here's a comparison with the older McFarlane designed Batman. You know, a lot of the more newer figures, they're a lot smaller in size compared to the older ones. In terms of getting him in like decent running poses, take a look at that real quick. You know, I'm assuming that if you're gonna put this on display, you're gonna want him running. Yeah, so in terms of getting them in a running pose, you know, you could get some pretty decent ones. Yeah, so overall, it's a very solid, decent figure. If I had to rate this guy on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, probably a low 8. It's nice. The neck kind of bothers me a little bit, and I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad figure, but it doesn't necessarily like wow me right off the bat. You know, maybe I have to handle this and fill around with it for a little bit just to warm up a little bit further with it. But I think for the most part, it's pretty cool. And if you're a fan of the new film, it's definitely a must purchase. You know, it's really a unique take on the character. So, alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.